SwissWatchExpo here. This is Angel, and this week we're taking a look at my 3 top picks for most popular references. Stick around. Welcome back to SwissWatchExpo. This week we are taking a look at my 3 most popular picks. These are watches that I received so many calls and FaceTimes and sales about, so I feel it's fitting to take a deeper dive into these just in case it's a reference you've been looking for. All 3 watches are from 3 different price point categories and essentially 3 completely different styles. So let's jump right into it. First up is the Rolex Sky-Dweller. Now, this is done in the stainless steel with the 18 karat white gold bezel, and this particular reference has that green dial. So with the Sky-Dwellers, you'll see it kind of fluctuate as far as what's most popular. Sometimes we'll have a lot of clients that are looking for the blue. Sometimes we are having clients that want them on a strap, but the one thing that remains true is the green dial. Now, the thing with the green dial, Rolex typically doesn't make as many of these across all collections, you know, whether it's like something like a Hulk or something in that nature, but with this green, you'll only see it on the Sky-Dweller. This particular reference is one of the most updated references. It's a 3 starting 6-digit reference essentially. And the biggest thing about it is that you've moved from the 9001 caliber to the 9002 caliber, which is going to have a 72-hour power reserve. So essentially you can take this watch off for 3 days versus the previous 2-day power reserve. And typically, I don't really lean towards one or the other, but because this is an annual calendar, that is a nice perk. You can put the watch down without having to reset the time as often and not have to keep it on a winder per se. So this one, of course, like I said, it'll be an annual calendar, which is indicated with the red tick mark around each indice. And then also you'll have a dual time with that off center subdial at the bottom. And then typically you'll have your date here at the 3. But with this watch, I feel as though a lot of my clients that maybe have other sport models or Rolex President day date models, they want to get into something a little more sporty but have that size. This is one of the largest references that Rolex makes, coming in at over 42 millimeters, and really just a substantial piece to add to your collection. So really popular. And if you've been looking for one, we have this beautiful green dial. I don't know how long it's going to last. I believe this is in unworn condition as well. So it's pristine, it's gorgeous. Next up, we'll take a look at this stunning yet classic Patek Philippe 5196J. So I've had a lot of clients looking at this, especially with the surge of neo-vintage inquiries out there. This watch is going to be the sweet spot as far as the size, coming in at 37 millimeters. And because it's a manual wind with that 215 PS movement, typically you can tell that because you'll have the small seconds there at the bottom. But because it's a manual wind, it is very thin, very low profile. I love some of the details they've put on it with the satin finish on the side of the case, so that if for some reason you are layering it with something else or pretty active, it won't show scratches as easily. You will have a sapphire crystal on this model. And the other thing that I really love, and I think clients love why we're getting so many calls about it, is because it has that beautiful tapered case. So it just gives a really elegant look. This reference was retired, so that of course adds to the provenance of it. They ran it for quite some time, but they didn't make that many of them, if that makes any sense. So I think that also adds to the appeal of having it added to your collection. Typically with the Calatrava references, if there aren't any complications, they tend to lean a little smaller. You know, if you look at something like the 5119 or the 5116 with the enamel dials. They are typically a little smaller, and also you'll have some of those details like hobnail bezels, which not everyone loves that design. They want something very clean. If you're looking for it, look no further than the 5196 references. So we've been getting a lot of calls and inquiries on that as well. And last but certainly not least, it's the Omega Seamaster references. So this is an 8-digit. This is a 2265.80.00. So it's one of the older styles, but because of how classically styled it is, it's a great watch for gifts, especially with graduation time around these months. Great price point, and Omega just makes a very durable, reliable watch. This is great because it is a quartz movement as well. So if it's someone who's just diving into Swiss timepieces, but they want to make a nice statement, you could do it here. And then because it's quartz, again, it is a little bit thinner than if you had something with an automatic movement with a rotor. So it lends itself to being worn by both men and women. If you want a bold watch as a woman, something that, people say, okay, she knows her watches, but you don't want to invest too much money, then look no further than the Omega Seamaster here. And the other thing is they've started to branch out into some of the ceramic bezels and things like that. But I love the kind of nondescript bezel, kind of low profile bezel on this. And another thing that I love about it is it does have the superluminova, but it has this beautiful kind of pale green tint to it. So it gives it a very unique look. And then the other thing that why people love it is that electric blue wave dial. That is iconic in the Omega series. They don't make it this way anymore. So it's just a great watch. Beautiful beveled edges. The bracelet is solid and gorgeous as well. Nice flat, low profile clasp on it. So really a great watch if you are wanting to dive into the Swiss watch type of timepieces and you haven't had one before. So these are my 3 top picks that I've had a lot of clients calling for over the last few weeks. If you are wanting to add one to your collection, just give us a call here in the showroom. We'll help you out. We'll walk you through your checkout process. Let us know some of your favorites down in the comments, and we'll see you next week on the next video.